All right, good evening, everyone. I believe that we have a handful of participants at home watching from the comfort of their houses. We do have a small handful of people in person who will get first dibs on personal questions because there's so few of you. But thank you for coming. Just say you don't have to sit behind me there, right? Do you need to do anything here?
No.
Okay, so I'll just stay here, sit, we'll relax. I do want everyone to know that really the purpose of tonight is to share and let you see what's going to happen. You may have a million questions, you may not have any questions, but because there's so many different possibilities of questions, and for those of you at home, we do have a Google form of collection. And the reason I'm not going to entertain a ton of questions tonight is because I don't know all the answers. And most of the time I have to call Dan or Lyndall or the architects or other people to get answers to questions. So it's better to collect them all and then make sure you get the right information. So yeah, so if you're sitting next to Dan, you're in good shape over there.
You know what? You can just to put them in the queue.
And people at home are going to see a QR code. So if you have the QR code, and you will also be given the website to the Google form. And people here will have the QR code and the website. You've got your phone, you can get that Google form up, and there's unlimited submissions. So there's 3 questions per submission. Leave it open. And that'll be up a few different times. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. And this is not working. So that, nope. Okay. You want to hear construction joke? This one's for you. You ready? You want to hear one? Sorry, this isn't my computer, so. And that's what the joke is, and this is going to really. Sorry, I'm still working on it because it keeps happening. Notice that Dan Whistler, our buildings and grounds maestro, is here. So I apologize for the pausing in terms of what this. Sorry, again, not my computer, so I'm not really sure what's happening. Okay, so that is a QR code placed for questions. Please go ahead at your home. You can take it, open up that form. If you don't know how to do a QR code, there's a little short URL. You type that into your web browser and you can ask questions, and we'll get that, we'll share that, and we'll get back to you on that. If you want to use the Q&A in the presentation at home, I see Jody is looking right at it. Dr. Meggerly is looking right at it. So we'll collect those questions there as well. Okay. Oh yeah, it's working. All right, skeletal timeline. We're in winter. This is where we are. I want anyone who's watching, we are meeting on a weekly basis, if not more often through email and telephone calls. We are currently doing some asbestos checking, and what that means is when no one's here, experts come in and they drill a hole in the wall and they take that out and then they cover and seal that hole so it's still safe, so that we can decide and determine if there's anything behind the walls that we need to be careful about. We'll do that a little bit more over spring break. Over spring break, they are going to do the heavy work of the HVAC, which is the heating and air conditioning and the sprinklers in this room, the cafeteria, and in the big gym. And part of the reason for that is so that we can do in-house storage, so that we have a place to put all the things we need to store over the summer. In April through May, all of our staff are purging and packing everything. Every little tiny thing in every single room and space needs to be packed and moved out. So that's happening, and that's a big deal for all of our teachers. And then on May 24th, 4th, which is the last day of school. Demo is going to begin after we're all gone. So they're going to start, the construction people are going to be like waiting for us. They're going to maybe waving to the kids goodbye on their way out of the school. So that's the kind of a basic timeline of action. And so when we look at this map, the first thing I want you to notice is where you are in the map. So all of you guys in here, you're up here. Okay, people at home, we are over here. Up at the top left corner, that's the cafeteria. The main office, I think they can see. Can you see my cursor? Okay, is right here. The big gym where we do all the chorus concerts and all that kind of stuff is down here at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to be showing this map a lot, so I want you to have kind of an orientation of where you are, and so that you can picture the different things in the map. I have some students in the room. You guys know where you are right now? You know where you are on the map? Up here, right? Okay. So first, a few smaller things that are going to happen this summer for us. The conference room is currently right there, and it is actually about 2/3 of the size of that picture. There's currently an office in the front part of that space. That office will be removed, and that will become an appropriate conference room for the school. Another change is going to be in this space here. Currently, that is a smaller than normal classroom. It's used as a teacher lounge space. There's teachers meet in there. We have a lot of committee meetings in there. That room's going to be made a little bit smaller, which is okay. We'll still be able to use it for the same purpose, but we're adding 2 office spaces for support staff. One of whom will be our instructional coach, and then another will be for our itinerant support staff, like occupational therapists, physical therapists, those kinds of supporting staff who come in and out of the building so that they have a place to lay their coat and maybe even meet with one student. Another update is over here in the corner by the music room. So this is, by the way, this is where the playground is, down here, right corner. So this is where the music room and the art room are. Currently, that is a full-size classroom. It is used by our multilingual support team. So there's 4 teachers who use that space. It's going to be made into a smaller classroom size, not a full class, like we wouldn't have a full class in there, so that we can have an appropriate storage space for all of the amazing instruments that we have here at Euclid for our music program. If you haven't, the parents in the room, I know, have seen some of those instruments. Parents at home, there's a ton of instruments that we store open in our music classroom, and so this will give them a safe place for storage. Another important change that is small compared to a lot of classroom stuff is those 4 circles you see are going to be vestibules, and that's a safety feature. The main office, for example, there's a vestibule that you have to go into and then be let into the building. By door number, is there another vestibule somewhere? No, that's it. Oh, door number 14 by the 4th, 5th grade wing. There's a small vestibule where you go in one door and then there's a second set of doors that you have to walk through. So that's a safety feature. And so those are 4 entrances to the building that will be an upgrade in safety, which is wonderful. Okay. The other smaller, I mean, it's a big deal. None of this is small, but our asphalt in the back playground and in the side garden where we tend to have all of our car riders at the end of the day. So those are pictures of current asphalt, and that's all going to be replaced. The garden asphalt is going to be made a little bit bigger, which is nice. And where you see that blue arrow on the screen, we're going to have a sidewalk that goes from the asphalt to the parking lot so that our kids aren't walking around through the parking lot to dismissal. So that's a safety feature that we're adding to the grounds. All right, so now we're going to take a closer look at a few parts of the building that are getting a huge, more of a deeper makeover. We're going to look at this area here, not in the cafeteria, but where the kitchen, there's a boiler room, there's the teacher's lounge and the nurse's room. we're going to take a look at a classroom. All of the classrooms are going to be touched during this experience, but we're going to look at one so you can see what are they all going to kind of look like at the end of it. And then we're going to take a look at the current library and what will become the new library. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at where we are sitting right now. We're in the cafeteria, and you can see that currently those big brown doors in front of us, or if you're at home, we're looking at this space here. This is currently the kitchen. This is currently the lounge. This is currently the nurse's room. So if we go over here, this is what it looks like now. The kitchen, the nurse's room, there's this little mini hallway here that's outside, and then there's this individual bathroom that serves as the nurse's bathroom for kids who are sick or kids who need to change, but it also serves as a staff bathroom. So it's shared between the nurse and staff. This side of this room, the new space, we're moving the kitchen, and this will become storage and water. So it'll become part of the infrastructure. What's the word? Sprinkler system. Thank you. The sprinkler system and the infrastructure, the stuff behind the scenes that we try not to worry about, and we assume that that's all good because our kids are here and we're good. One of the changes, though, that's really nice is our nurse's office is going to be slightly wider, and that bathroom is becoming a part of that room. So that nurse's bathroom will be a nurse's bathroom, and we won't have to worry about student privacy or putting up like a little curtain that we have to do sometimes. So that's going to be a nice upgrade for kids. And I'm really excited about that for our nurse and our students. Across the hall is where our kitchen's going to go. And currently it's a boiler room. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a dark, warm, muggy, scary kind of room that no one likes to go into. And it's going to turn into, our kitchen's going to go there. We're going to create a new opening out into the cafeteria. And then around that kitchen will be separate storage that will access the outside, where we can put like a snow blower, and we can put shovels, things that we need for outside. And then there'll be all the electrical, and the electrical is a lot smaller because of the upgrade in all the work that we're doing this summer. Okay, so that's that space up there. With that space, though, is also our bathrooms. So those two bathrooms, the bathrooms by the cafeteria and the bathrooms by the library, are getting completely remodeled. So what does that mean? The ones by the library are going to be kind of the same. They'll just be better and newer, a couple less stalls. But the ones by the cafeteria right here on the left side of the screen, that's what they look like now. So, right? Yes. So here is the girls. You walk in and there's a door, and then there's your sinks and all your stalls. And then you come over here, and around the corner, here's the boy. There's a little mini hallway here, and the boys walk in. There's their two sinks, their stalls, and their urinals. And then there's a custodial storage closet right here. That's what it looks like right now. What it's going to look like is both bathrooms will face that main hallway. And in that space is this, here's the girls to the left side, the entrance. Here's the boys' entrance. They have their own entrances. And then right in the middle is a space for a custodial closet. So we're still going to have similar spacing. It's just refigured so that it's all in one spot. The other thing you see at the bottom of this future image are two water stations. So we'll lose the water stations that are currently in this hallway, and they'll be right around the corner in front of these bathrooms. The difference and the reason why we have to redo these bathrooms, by the way, this is really important. We're not doing it just because we want nicer bathrooms. We're doing it because we have to touch the water pipes. And because we have to do that, that means we have to upgrade our bathrooms so that they're ADA compliant. Currently, they are not accessible to people with disabilities, and we need to make sure that they are when we do construction. So that's really why we have to redo the bathrooms no matter what. Okay. Next one, we are now going to look at a classroom. So excited? I got a couple students here, people at home, I have some students here. So if you have students, if you're watching this, this is what your classroom is, this is what it looks like now. And everywhere you see an arrow pointing, it's getting demolished, taken out, destroyed, pulled off the floor. So all of the metal storage units along the wall under the windows are being removed because those are a part of the heating and air conditioning units. All of the flooring is being removed because in removing all the other pieces that we need to remove, we're ending up removing most of the flooring. And so it was decided that it was best to just replace all of it so we have consistent tiling throughout the classrooms. There'll be two up here. We're removing the current doorways. The doorways in all of our classrooms are not ADA compliant. So that means we have to widen the doorway in every single classroom, which means we're touching walls, which means we're touching lockers, which means there's a lot of which means. So I do want you guys to know that there's a lot happening. And so this is the highlight of the new classroom is that our doorways will be wider and our flooring, this part that's light blue is going to be a laminate tile. And then the part here that you see in the multicolors and this white half circle, this part of the classroom will be what's called kinetics, which is a sturdy, hard carpet. If you've been to Prairie Trails, it's very much like Prairie Trails. The walls, so this whole wall here, there essentially will be bare. So we need to bring in storage for all the books and all the supplies for our classrooms. That's a furniture purchase. There'll be two built-ins. One's already there. They're taking that out. They'll replace that. And then what we'll have on our ceilings, new HVAC and sprinklers, and that will be housed on the ceiling of our classrooms, no longer on the floor or in a wall unit. Just let you take it in for a second. If some of you might be reading what's on the screen. I do want you guys to know that every classroom that has this half circle, that is the presentation wall. So that's where the new flat screens will be, where teachers are presenting, kids are sitting on those squares. That's where our shared learning spaces will be. And then tables and chairs will be behind that, around that, the rest of the room. And then there will be whiteboards on this back room or back wall, my bad, back wall. Okay, so it's just another visual rendering of the room. It shows you some of the tiling. And again, the flooring, the tile flooring, it'll look like grayish wood grain, but it's not. But it's really pretty. And the teachers we're very happy about the coloring and what that'll look like. I will tell you that this blue by the doorway originally was going to be a different tile. And we've decided not to put an additional tiling there. So it will blend in either with the room or it's going to blend in with the hallway tile. Okay. So I don't want you to think that all the, like each entrance to the door is going to be this blue or random tile. Okay. So current library, picture our library. Everyone at home picturing our library. This is what it looks like now. It's just a double giant room or a giant double room. And all of the casework along the windows will be removed because that's coming out with the new HVAC. These existing casework bookcases are going to be removed. The flooring is going to be removed because we're losing a lot of flooring in removing of all the casework. And so that's a pretty huge hit on the floor. That being said, what we're doing is we're creating two classrooms that are going to be connected by a doorway. And the reason for that is Euclid houses our self-contained special education program, which supports students from the ages of first grade through fifth grade. And we share a lot of resources. We share a lot of human resources. This location is right by bathrooms. It's right by our support team in the middle of the hallway or in the middle of the school and nearby the offices. The door, the new wall with the door allows those teachers and kids to go in between both classes so that we can continue that the collaborative nature of that program. this team is over the moon, so excited about what those opportunities are going to provide for them. And it's set up just like the regular classrooms, except those are the only two rooms that are facing differently. So their presentation wall is against the hallway. And the windows are up at the top. So again, if for just your reference, the top of those classrooms, that's the front of Euclid where the parking lot and Euclid Avenue are. So that's up here. We were just up here. So reorient yourself because I'm about to flip the map. Okay. So we were just here. You're over here right now. I'm flipping the map. You know where you are? Can you point to where you are on the map? Good job. You know where you are? Okay, of course you know how to read a map. I worry about our children not being able to read maps, but he's got it. Good job. Okay, so you are down here right now, and I'm going to bring you up here. This thing, I know there's a way to get rid of this, but I don't remember. Yeah, just move it around. So we're going to go up here. This is door number 3, where we enter in the morning. If it's bad weather, it's where we exit for car pickup when it's bad weather. It's where a lot of our families come in for course concerts and things like that when we're parking in the hallway. So this is where we're headed right now. I gotta click back on here. Yeah, we're going right there. Okay, so this is currently what that space looks like. It's 2, like I call them kindergarten suites. They have bathrooms, they have sinks. They're really, really big rooms. They have exterior exit doors. So these are like, again, they were originally kindergarten classrooms, and now they're like these suites. So if you get the space, you've got a huge, amazing space to be in. Currently, this space holds one of our self-contained special ed classrooms, and the space on the right side or the south side of this is ECDEC is in there. So we support the ECDEC preschool program, and that's where these kiddos are. And so what's going to happen is we're taking out all of what's in the middle. Now, remember what I said about the bathrooms? That if we touch anything with the bathroom, if it's not ADA compliant, we're going to have to tear it out anyway. So these bathrooms are not even close. They're so old. They still function, but they're so old. So no matter what we would do, we would have to have taken out those bathrooms. And so what we're doing is we're turning those 2 spaces into one library. This building these kids deserve a beautiful library. So what you can see here is this is that entrance. We've taken away the 2 separate doors. We've made one more double door entrance to that from the hallway. And I do want to remind all of you looking at the screen that it is now a safety, moving this out of the way. Okay, this is a safety vestibule. So this hallway, there's a door number 3, and then there's going to be another entrance in that door, another double door entrance before you get into this space. In this hallway here, you can see that there's 2 staff bathrooms. Currently, we have 2 staff bathrooms and the one we share in the nurse. When we lose the one for the nurse, we're down to 2 staff bathrooms, which is not code. So we're putting 2 more staff bathrooms on the other side of the building, which will actually be nice because there's literally nothing on that side of the building. And then next to that bathroom, all the way to the right side in the middle is going to be a custodial maintenance closet with water, access to water. Another thing that doesn't exist on that side of the building. So in terms of access to water, cleaning supplies, things like that, that's something that is not currently available. When you get into, sorry, going the wrong way, the library, you walk in, this center area will be tile. This fishbone is all carpet, like Kinetics carpet, all the same type of color. So you'll see the pattern, but it's not really loud, which is nice. I will tell you that this area right here, where my cursor is, will also be that fishbone carpet. So that's not like an extra different tile area. So when you walk in the library, our books are going to be mostly over here. We're going to have instructional space here. These 2 areas with the half circle will be designed similar to our classrooms, but not as checkerboard. And then you'll have 2 presentation opportunities in both of those ends. We're gonna have, we're gonna repurpose furniture, and in this space will be movable, flippable tables. We have those here already, so that we can then use this space for a meeting like this. Right down here, you see there's two smaller instructional spaces. Those are some glass, some half solid wall spaces. Those are for small group learning, and there'll be two smaller screens in those spaces too. For example, if I have my class here and I have 3 or 4 kids that I want to work outside of the maybe some noise, I want them to work independently together, I can put them in that room and still see them. And yet they're not necessarily distracted by the greater size of what's going on in the library. Okay. Oh, and we are adding 2 water stations into that hallway, which aren't there right now. There's a really old water fountain there. I don't think anyone drinks out of it. So that's what's going on over there. And then here's a few, these are fun to look at. It's not really going to look like this, but it gives you an idea of what the library will look like. So what you're looking at is the entrance from the hallway. These are the this cabinetry over here will be built in. This is where our Mrs. Chertok and Mrs. Lonnie's desks will be. So that's where we'll check out books. That's where we'll turn books in. That's like a presentation area. So this window looks out to the parking lot. That's kind of gives you an idea of what direction we're looking. Now we're looking towards those smaller instructional spaces. The windows to the right there are also looking out to the parking lot, so you can get a sense of where you are. And then these doors over here are the doors to the hallway inside the school. And that's it. That's what's happening. When you come back for parent-teacher conferences, anyone at home, when you're coming for parent-teacher conferences, we're going to have some visual boards. So like, if you were here, there's a board there. There's a board here that explains what precipitated all of this work. Like, why did this start in the first place? Outside of the fact that Euclid was built in 1960, and other than some of the renovations or the additions that have happened, a lot of the building is original. So some of our lockers are from way back then, all those lockers that don't close on their own anymore, or are rusted out at the bottom. So 2/3 of our lockers will be replaced in this project. And we're going to have some pictures of things. We're going to have some color samples, flooring samples. So as you walk through for parent-teacher conferences, those will be located over by door number 3, where the new library will be next year and where you'll walk in for conferences. And let's get rid of that. Okay. And if you're at home, there might be a couple questions. Wow, Rudy, that's something big. So we're going to have someone who knows the answer to that question answer that. Okay. I'm not going to answer your question, Rudy, but I promise you will get an answer to that. And Rudy, if you're still listening and you have an email, if you could give us your email, we can make sure you get the answer to that, or put your question into that Google form using the QR code so that we can make sure we get that information to you. And that's it. Yeah, I mean, the form itself is going to be open for days. Yeah, so I can leave that. What I'll do is I'll put that other screen on. It's really hard using someone else's computer. Thank you, everybody at home, for coming. Thank you, everyone here, for coming. The party is over. There. So there's the QR code and the website. Okay. So thank you at home, and I'm going to mute me now so you don't have to listen to me anymore.